Hey there, I'm David Wilson, founder and creator of Lessons for Worship. Thank you for joining me in this guitar lesson for absolute beginners. I've been playing guitar since 2001, and if you were to come to me and say, hey David, I want to learn how to play guitar, but I got no idea where to start. Can you help me? Well, this would be the lesson that I would give to you one-on-one. So I'm going to teach you the foundational things you'll need to know to start playing your guitar and having fun in no time. And if you hang in there and stick with me to the end, by the end of this video, you'll be playing your first song. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I want to teach you your first chord. It's the E minor chord. So I want you to take your fingers and wrap them around the bottom of the neck. You're going to take your middle finger and put it on the, not the first string at the top, but the next string down on the second fret. So not the first fret, but the second fret right here on the A string. And then take your ring finger and put it on the string right beneath that, which is the D string, still on the second fret. And that's it. That's the E minor chord. So go ahead and strum. And you just learned your first chord. Now let me take a minute to talk about the strings and the frets and everything that I just referenced. So you have a guitar here. You're either playing an acoustic or an electric guitar. This is a 6-string guitar. And the strings have numbers and letters, which we reference. So I'm going to show you at the top, the string here at the very top is the low E string. After that is A, then D, next is G, then B, and you have another E string, which is your high E string. Okay, so your bottom string and your top string are E's. Okay, so that's E, A, D, G, B, E. This is standard tuning. Now, starting from the bottom, coming back up, I'm going to show you the numbers of the string. So E, A, D, G, B, E, starting from the top string going down to the bottom string. The strings also are numbered. If you look at chord charts like you see here on this one, you might see numbers. So what this is referencing is the number of the string. So this is the first string, which is the high E. So working your way from the bottom to the top back towards you, E, or number 1, B, number 2, G, which is 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th string. Okay, so if you see those referenced on a chord chart, that's what it's referring to. Now let's talk about the frets. As I mentioned earlier, you have frets. These are the spacers on your guitar neck, which allow you to give the guitar a different tone, and it's referenced for you as you're playing the guitar to know where to put your fingers. Okay, what you'll also notice on a lot of guitars, as you see here, there are often these little dots or designs of some kind that give you a reference point visually to see what fret you're next to. So often on a lot of guitars, you'll see that you have here one on the 3rd fret, 5th, 7th, 9th, and then a lot of times you'll see 2 dots on the 12th fret. So it's a very easy way for you to look down and see, okay, what fret am I on without having to think about it. Now, let's go ahead and learn our second chord. I'm going to teach you the D chord or the D major chord. So we're still on the 2nd fret right here, and we're going to be using 3 fingers. So first I want you to take your index finger and you're going to put it on the G string on the 2nd fret right here. Next, I want you to take your middle finger and put it on the high E string or string number 1 on the 2nd fret. So you're here, and then you're going to use your ring finger to put it on the 3rd fret on the B string. So let's go ahead and strum. And there you go. There's your D major chord. You've already learned 2 chords. You're halfway to learning your first song, so awesome job. Now, the next thing I want to go over is the importance of switching between chords. Depending on the tempo of the song, you'll be switching between chords either slowly or a little bit faster. It's crucial that you practice switching between chords. That way you can stay on tempo when you're playing a song and it sounds like you're on the right beat. So I want you to practice playing the E minor chord and then switching to the D chord. So we're going to play the E minor chord 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to switch to the D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want us to do that 3 times, going back and forth until you get familiar in how it feels to switch between these 2 chords. So let's start with E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to switch to the D chord. 2, 3, 4. That's 1 time around. So 4 times on E minor, 4 times on the D chord. That's 1 round. So let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now you kind of know what it feels like to switch between the E minor to the D, back to the E minor and back again. Now before we move on, the next thing I want to talk to you about is pushing down on the strings and making the notes to play the guitar. So you'll probably notice so far, after you've done E minor 3 times and D 3 times going back and forth, your fingers might feel a little tingly. They might hurt a little bit. That's normal. You're not used to pushing down on these guitar strings, and depending on how far your strings are from your fret or from the neck of your guitar, it could start to hurt. That's okay. After you start to play consistently, you will develop calluses on your fingers. But for now, what I want you to try to do is to find that sweet spot. So push down. You don't have to white, like, you don't have to do that. But also you want to push down hard enough to where the notes, you can hear them clearly. So find that nice amount of pressure that you put on the strings and then play your chord. You notice here my fingers are close to the bottom part of the fret. That's what you want. You don't want to be up here or away from the fret too much, because then you're having to push down even harder to make that note ring out. So you want to be hugging the bottom of the fret with your fingers as you're making the chord shape. That way the note rings out clear. And that applies to all your chords. So make sure that you're getting your fingers hugging the fret as close as you can. Now you're not on the fret, you're right next to it. So make sure that you're staying close to that fret. Let's go on and learn our next chord. I want to teach you the G major chord. So for this chord, you're going to be using 4 fingers. I want you to first take your ring finger and put it on the B string or the 2nd string on the 3rd fret right here, and then put your pinky right underneath that on the high E string or the 1st string at the bottom. Okay, that's half the chord right there. Next, you're going to put your middle finger on the top string or the string which is the low E string right here on the 3rd fret. And then last, you're going to take your index finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the A string or the 5th string right here. So you can see this is the shape you're making. That is your G major chord. Lastly, I want to teach you the C major chord. So here, what you're going to do is first take your ring finger or your 3rd finger, and you're going to put it on the 3rd fret of the A string or string number 5 right here. Then you're going to take your middle finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the D string. Okay, so you're making that shape right there. And then you're going to take your index finger and put it on the 1st fret of the B string. So that's the string that's right almost at the bottom, but not all the way at the bottom. Okay, so this is the shape you're making right here for a C major chord. So go ahead and give that a strum. Okay, so we're going to do the same type of exercise with the C major chord and the G major chord. We're going to switch between the two, going back and forth 3 rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the G, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the C. So let's go ahead and give that a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, if you've done both exercises, you can switch between the E minor chord into D, and then from the G major chord to the C. 3 rounds without messing up, you are ready to play your first song. So for this song, I'm actually going to teach you slight variations of the C major chord and the E minor chord. You'll actually find these chords are a little bit easier to play because one of your fingers, the ring finger, is anchored. So go ahead, I want you to put your ring finger down like you're making a G chord. You're going to go on that B string on the 3rd fret. And then you're going to put your pinky right beneath that on the high E string on the 3rd fret, okay? Your ring finger is pretty much not going to move at all. So again, this is your anchor. Now, I'm going to show you a variation of the C chord. It's called a Cadd9. So it's just like a G chord, except what you're doing is you're putting your middle finger and your index finger 1 string down. So instead of being up here, you're coming down 1 string with your middle finger and index finger. It's a Cadd9. So the reason it's called a Cadd9 is because you're adding that D note. It's the 9th note in the C major scale, okay? So it's giving it a little bit different feel and tone. So here's the C major chord. Here's a Cadd9. You hear it? It's that D note. It gives it a little bit richer sound, okay? Now the other chord I want to teach you is the E minor 7 chord. So just like what we had before, you're doing an E minor, except this time what you're doing is you're again keeping your ring finger and your pinky finger right there, anchored where they are, and you're going to use your middle finger and your index finger this time to make that E minor shape, okay? So again, here's an E minor. E minor 7. You can hear it. It's again because you're adding that D note to the E minor chord. So it's giving it a little bit brighter type of tone and sound. So let's go ahead and learn our first song. This is 10,000 Reasons, Bless the Lord by Matt Redman. It's a great song and it's very easy to learn. Now in this song there is up and down strumming. For the sake of the lesson today, I want to just keep it very simple. We're going to just do down strum. And as we go along with the beat and the words of the music, we'll just be going down like this. All right? You're going to start with the Cadd9 chord. And then you're going to go to the G chord, D, E minor 7. So in this song, this is the first start of the chord progression in the chorus. So it goes like this. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. I worship His holy name. Okay, so that's the first half of the chorus. So let's go through that. So it's Cadd9. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. So Cadd9, G, D, E minor 7. Okay? I worship, Cadd9, His holy name. The D chord right there. So you have 4 chords and then the 3 chords. So Cadd9, G, D, E minor 7. Cadd9, G, D. Now for the second half of the chorus, it's a little bit different and you're going to have to switch a little bit faster. And that's why I love this song, because it's great practice to switch between chords at different speeds. So sing like never, Cadd9, B4, then back to Cadd9, oh my soul. So you might have to stop and practice that if you're just now getting used to switching between chords. That's okay. Take your time. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Cadd9, D, E minor 7. And then we're going to finish up. I worship your holy name. It's in with the G. So Cadd9, D, G. Now, the verse is very similar to the chorus, and it's a little bit easier in my opinion. So let's go ahead and learn the verse chord progression. I have put that down in the description below so you can see it, but let's go ahead and learn that part. Sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me. Slight pause. Let me be singing when the evening comes. And that's the verse. So you, instead of ending on that E minor, you end on the G. Okay? That's the only difference. So 3 times through, and then that last time you end on the G instead of the E minor. So the other thing I wanted to show you is how to hold a pick. The way that I learned how to hold the pick is you want to put it straight with your index finger, like the pointing part of your finger, and put that pick flat like that, and then you're going to put your thumb perpendicular to the pick. So you can see here it's just sticking out towards past the edge of my finger with the thumb securely holding it in place. Now I'm not white knuckling it here, I'm not holding it down really tight, I'm just holding it tight enough to where it feels comfortable and it's not going to fall out of my finger as I'm strumming. So, that's how you should hold a pick, and you're going to have a little bit of a curve on your index finger. As you can see, that's okay. But what you want to do is just make sure it's comfortable and tight enough that it won't fall out of your hand as you're playing. Now, before you go, I want to explain briefly why I taught you these 4 chords. You learn D major, E minor, C major, and G major, as well as C add 9 and E minor 7. So you actually learn 6 chords in this instructional video. So in music, you'll find that there are certain chords and notes that sound really good together in a specific song key. These chords are great in the key of G. So G major, C major, D major, and E minor all go very, very well together, and you'll find that there are thousands, if not more, songs that are played with those chords in a lot of different varieties. So now that you have learned these 4 chords, you can make up your own song and your own little riff that you want to play and see how it sounds. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you stuck with me to the end, awesome job. I really hope that you stick with playing and practicing the guitar. Biggest advice I can give you is to practice consistently at least 3 times a week for 10 minutes a day. Just practice switching between chords. Look up some songs online and figure out what it is that they're playing, or make up your own song with the chords I just showed you. If you really enjoyed this content, please consider clicking the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss my next guitar lesson. See you soon.